Just want to start our recording so that everyone who's not here live has the opportunity to be here with us virtually later on. Thanks everybody for being here. I really appreciate it. Again, my name is John Morton. I'm one of the instructors for Psychology and Play. You might be in my section, or you might be in another section as well, right? If you're in class with Mr. Nguyen or Brandon, then you're in the right place. So if you're a campus student and you're in Psychology or Play, you're in the right place. But thanks. How's everybody? Has everyone been to class? I'm guessing at least once so far. No. Yes. Most people yes. Some people no. All right. Well, I know I met with my class yesterday. I know a few other classes met. So if you haven't been, welcome. And if you have been, welcome back. But I'll just dive right into it. I think everyone's probably gotten a brief introduction to the course, and I know my class didn't cover material. We just got through introduction yesterday. But we're going to talk a little bit today about play history and play personalities. So there we have it. Play personalities, our beliefs on play, and how we can reconnect with play. Maybe it's something that we did when we were kids. Maybe it's something that we haven't done in a while. We haven't gotten back around to. It's pretty standard. It's pretty typical for for us. We have a lot of opportunities to play when we're kids, and we get into middle school, high school. Those opportunities kind of, they aren't there as often. We don't have as many chances to go out and play and have fun, and maybe we did sports, but, we probably got more into our academics or other things, or our parents said, quit playing outside, or quit playing those video games, or whatever it was. And maybe we kind of got an idea, or, developed some beliefs about what play was, what it meant, and whether good, bad, or indifferent, kind of where we stand on that. But hopefully we'll do some stuff throughout the course of the month that will reshape our ideas about play, give us some different ideas about how we can look at it. So here we go. As adults, do we think play is valuable? And that's a yes or no. Jump in. Okay, so it looks like, yeah, there's a lot of us, so the chat goes really fast. If you want, there's a couple of different ways we can work in the classroom or in the online setting. If people ever want, you can chime in. I can click and unmute you. There's a little hand raise button. If you ever want to, stop and say something, you can just use the hand raise button, and I can unmute you. We can chat. But what do we think? What are some of the reasons that play is valuable to us as adults? All right. I have, and please, I apologize if I am bad at names. I will do my best. Gabriel? No, that is a last name. Alicia.
Gabrielle Alicea.
Gabrielle. Okay, there we go. I apologize. But go ahead. What are your thoughts on play and its importance as an adult?
I feel like having a form of like an outlet or a play constantly keeps the imagination going, which creates new ideas, which creates change, and further creates new movements, which will develop new worlds.
Yeah, absolutely. That in and of itself sounds like especially for someone in a creative field that plays probably very important. Okay, yeah, awesome. Well, thank you for sharing. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. Anyone else jumping in? Prevent stress. Yeah, definitely it does prevent stress, reduces stress, so on and so forth in that manner of things. Absolutely. It keeps the mind thinking, gives us more ideas, gives adults a reason to wake up, brings out the inner child. Okay, yeah. So I think that basically for a lot of reasons it's escape from reality, keeps us from being monotone. Yeah, it definitely does. It's a break from the normal schedule, helps you relax after a hard day's work. Yeah, absolutely. So okay, so it sounds like we've got a pretty good idea about some of the benefits of play and why it's valuable for us as adults. As we go through, the month, I think we'll see more and more about why play, as it relates to stress, is really important. There's some really interesting kind of correlations that show up later on when we think about the way that our brains work in a creative space, and the creative parts of our brain and how they work, and how that relates to stress. So yeah, I think we're all on the right track with this. Awesome. So again, we kind of look at play, and I think that we, as the picture illustrates, um, sometimes we look at play and we look at kind of being serious, and we think that maybe they're far apart from one another. Is play the opposite of being serious? And I think it's one of those questions. I think you can take your play very seriously, but I think it's very possible to be serious in what you do and in your creative fields, um, but also play, also get out, also have fun. I think that's one of the things. At Full Sail is it's one of the terms that they one of the slogans or mottos that they have is if you're serious about your dreams, we'll take your dreams seriously. Which is interesting. Is I think that a lot of us are really serious about the things we're most passionate about, and you want to be taken seriously in those. So it's definitely it's important. It's important because again, creativity a lot of times will come out of happy, fun, joyful, playful experiences, and a lot of times we can find rich, fertile, creative soil when we're engaged in play. All right, so looking back historically, what were maybe some of the things that we did for play? And kind of looking a little bit more deeply, how do you think those things are tied into what we're pursuing now, degree wise, or in our professional world? And you again feel free to raise your hand on this one. I realize that's a kind of a complex question. Um, Denzel is it Denzel?
Yeah, Denzel.
Hey, okay. Yeah. What are your thoughts on that? Kind of how you played
Um,
historically and how that relates to what you're doing now, in your education and your professional career.
well, generally, not, for me, I would say playing basketball as a kid and then having to be an athlete in the future.
Okay, but how do you think that it applies to you specifically?
Well, me specifically, all right, so me playing music and then having to come here for music production would, you know, it played a big part
Okay,
for
so
me.
you played a lot of music as a kid.
Yes, a lot.
Okay, yeah, no, definitely. I mean that's a pretty straightforward. I did this when I was young, and I'm doing it now as an adult. Yeah, absolutely. All right, thanks for sharing.
Yeah.
All right, Dylan, I see a hand up as well. Are you there? Can you hear us? Looks like your microphone might not be working. All right, we can get back to you if we can get that figured out. Um, Again, apologize for my names. Jelson Rivera.
Yeah,
Did I get your name right?
yeah.
Hey, okay. Well, you're on. Can you tell us a little bit about how you played when you were a kid and how you think that relates to what you're doing now?
Well, as a kid, I always liked to like make up stories. Like I would grab my little like Lego sets and make up like a little action story.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes when I was doing drawings, I did this thing where I called story-based drawing, where I just make a character and then just added stuff and then try to like explain what relates to the story, like what did this character go through. And I think that made me love stories, like
Mm-hmm.
telling stories, and I think that's what led me to animation.
That's
And
awesome. Yeah, no, that's a really cool kind of arc that you took, the path that goes to from, right, the being really into the storytelling and whatnot as a young person, and setting those stories up, and then, right, being
yeah,
able to pursue that and do that on a deeper level. That's pretty awesome.
yeah, thanks.
All right, I'm just going to keep on going. I know we have a couple more hands up, and I will do my best to share the wealth and get around to everyone. But if we all talk, it will go well past the hour. Um, so here we have play personalities, and if you've done the reading, you've already encountered the play personalities. If you haven't done the reading, uh, check them out in the reading. But we're also going to talk a little bit about them now. So we're going to go through. There are the 8 play personalities: the Joker, Explorer, Kinesthetic, Competitor, Artist, Director, Storyteller, and Collector. We'll start with the Joker. Does anyone relate to the Joker play personality? Kind of what you can imagine. Someone maybe who is practical jokes, maybe sometimes fools around a little bit, maybe sometimes too much. Yes. Okay, so it looks like we definitely have some people who some yeses and some nos, some maybes. All right, sure. So some people will and some people won't. I think that a lot of times we move in and out of play personalities. Usually there's a few, 2, 3 that we kind of operate in more often, or ones that we gravitate towards. I know that I can relate to the Joker. I think it's one of those things that I really enjoy a practical joke. I think they're really funny. I don't like to see people get hurt, so I don't think I like to go with them that way. But I think it's really fun. If you can kind of like stage and execute like a good practical joke, and not really. Hopefully, it's not at anyone's expense, or not in a mean way. But yeah, I definitely there's definitely a part of me that I very much relate to that play personality. So we have the explorer play personality. That's another big one. I'm sure that we probably have a lot of people who fall into that, and I don't just mean the physical explorer. I mean, there's people who love to travel. I know my class has a bunch of people who just who love to travel, like to see the world, which is awesome. I think that physical exploration is great, but I think that there's also like a deeper level of exploration into the mind, or into fantasy worlds. I think you'll get maybe someone who maybe you're into storytelling and exploring, and you kind of find that crossover in Dungeons and Dragons, where you're creating and you're exploring and you're doing all sorts of new things. So the Explorer kind of it covers a lot of territory, but yeah, there's definitely a lot of things going on. I apologize. I'm trying to keep up with what happens in the chat box. I know Mr. Wynn is also in there, trying to keep up. So if we don't recognize all your comments, we apologize. They just go by pretty quick, and but I'm glad that everyone's jumping in and participating. It's awesome. So we have the kinesthete. I'm sure there's got to be a handful of us who relate to this. Usually people who are very hands-on, very physical. If you recognize kinesthete, it's the same root as a kinesthetic learner, which is one of the learning styles that come up. People who are generally more hands-on. The traditional learning styles are auditory, and visual learners, and then we have the kinesthetic learners who tend to learn by doing. I know that I'm definitely more of a kinesthetic learner. I really like to be hands-on. I like to do things. A lot of times I can read something, but then I need to visualize it if I want to actually get kind of what that concept is. And then on a more practical level, if I can do something, if I have experience with it, it's much easier for me to learn. So I'm sure that we tend to attract more kinesthetic learners than traditional universities because, right, yeah, we're hands-on people. A lot of us, are anxious to get our hands onto gear and equipment, and we want to actually be physically present for things. So yeah, that's another big play personality that a lot of times, right, you'll see, at least in part of what we're doing. Part of our play tends to be kinesthetic, and it doesn't have to be you. You don't have to relate to all of these. You probably won't relate to all of them, but chances are there'll be a couple that you pick up on. So we have the competitor. Anyone in here who is very competitive? I think that everyone at some point has a little bit of a competitor in them. Some people are really driven by it, and some people not so much. I tend not to be very competitive about a lot of things, but if you put me around my siblings, the competition really comes out. My friends, I'm not as competitive with, but around my siblings, right? We compete. We want to beat each other. We want to be the best at something. I think it's interesting. Sometimes you see, you maybe have friends who you don't normally see in a competitive setting, and then they get into a competitive setting. And you kind of say, "Wow, I didn't realize you were as competitive about something." Again, it's everyone has their own thing. Competition means a lot to some people. Winning, being the best. Again, there's no right or wrong, so there's no good or bad in this. It's just being able to identify and saying, "Oh, I can relate to this play style. I can see that in my own life." We have the artist. Again, it's one of the play styles that I think are the play personalities that people really, especially at Full Sail, are pretty taken by. Please forgive me. I'm just drinking my drink. So yeah, I think with the artist play personality, even if we're not a visual artist, and I think this is one of those ones that really comes out. I think sometimes maybe we get an idea, oh, I'm not a painter, I'm not a drawer, or whatever it is, or I can't animate, so I can't be an artist. But I think that there's an art form in everything that we do. My class knows I'm really into plants. I keep rare and exotic plants, and there's a lot of art in how that works, in how plants are managed, and how they're treated, in the care process of it. It's for me, it's something that there's definitely an art form to it. There's also some science to it. There's also a lot of things. I do keep some succulents, but no, primarily I keep fruit trees. But right, so I think again, the artist play personality isn't necessarily just the visual artist. It can definitely fall into a lot of other categories, and I think that we tend to attract more people with artistic pursuits. I think even sometimes we'll get people who are don't see themselves as an artist, but you maybe think maybe programmers. I feel like is maybe the easiest one to say that's far away from art. But again, I think that the way that a programmer writes and develops can have an artistic flair to it. Their style, if you want to call it that, is there's some artistry to it. So I think that everyone can have it, just at varying degrees. We have the director play personality, and this is one you know, I remember, you know, different parts of this, and we were talking about earlier, you know, kind of setting up toys in a way, you know, where you make a story and you direct the parts and the pieces and control how everything moves. I definitely did that when I was a kid. I don't know if anyone had micro machines. It was very small cars, but I was playing with them and I would set them up and I'd have these big elaborate stories. Um, Jeffrey had the monorail set, excellent. Um, but yeah, no, is yeah, Hot Wheels, Legos, whatever it was. There's all different things. But yeah, setting them up and playing with them, and I loved. You know, I was like, oh, I could sit, you know, tell everyone where to go and how to be, and be in charge of things, and I really enjoyed that. You know, especially when I was a kid, it was a lot of fun, and I think that, you know, as adults we can find other ways to take this on. Some people physically, you know, you think about directing films. You know, it's someone who maybe doesn't want to be in front of the camera, doesn't feel comfortable, doesn't like that side of things, but really likes being able to kind of call the shots and direct the action. So you know, these things transfer over pretty easily from, you know, from our childhoods into our adult life. Minecraft, yeah, this is a great example of kind of, you know, you want to be able to direct the things and build and control things. Absolutely. So then we have the storyteller. I am very much a story listener. I love to hear stories. I'm a big fan of. I listen to some storytelling podcasts. I like The Moth is a big one that I really enjoy. Um, so I love listening to storytellers. Occasionally, I'll tell a story. Uh, but yeah, that's definitely it's definitely one that we see a lot of. And, you know, again, we think about the more traditional places, you know, creative writing, things like that. But then also, right, you know, think about game design. That's a huge one. Or game art, you know, where you're telling a story with, you know, the way that you lay a game out, how things go. Um, so yeah, the storyteller is another one that we see a lot of here at Full Sail. The collector. Um, as I mentioned, I have a large collection of fruit trees. I as a kid, I collected coins, which not I'm slightly less proud of now, but you know, I really enjoyed it. I've always had I like doing that. We have guitar picks, marbles, coins as well. I saw Yu-Gi-Oh, crystals. No shame. Collect what you collect. Enjoy what you enjoy. I think that's really the thing to take away. You know, it's funny. We will go through. I have a coworker who he sits down the row from me, and he collects wrestling belts, like the championship belts that wrestlers wear. And I'm always like blown away, and I'm like that. And he's told me about it, and I didn't realize that there was a market for that, or that it was a thing they do, but they do, and there's like a online forum for it, and they take it really seriously. But you know, everyone has their own thing. I think when we ask people, you know, what do you collect, we end up, you know, kind of every now and then see them through the window. Everyone has pretty, you know, kind of far out stuff. Tyler collects belts. Okay, excellent. Everyone has their own thing that they're into, that they really enjoy. I think a collection is a really interesting way to get some insight into someone you don't know very well. When you hear and find out, you know, what they're into, right, gives you definitely a little bit of a different look at them. So right, there we go. Those are our play personalities: Joker, Explorer, Kinesthete, Competitor, Artist, Director, Storyteller, and Collector. So benefits of play. So we kind of ran through a few of them initially. Does anyone else want to jump in? What are some of the benefits of play that you see? And again, we can go in the chat box, or we can raise our hands. Whatever you want. Dylan. Dylan, are you there?
Yes.
All
Can you
right.
hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. What are some of the benefits of play, Dylan?
I feel like it relieves a lot of stress.
Mm-hmm.
And at the same time, if you can figure out how to incorporate your work with play,
Mm-hmm.
then work feels like play. And that way it makes your life more enjoyable. I grew up with a saying, if you make $1 million a day, but you hate what you're doing, then it's not worth it. So I kind of grew up with that. And if you benefit from playing and know how to incorporate it with work, then it makes life easier. And
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. My dad has a similar saying. He says, "If you love what you do, you'll never work a day in your life."
yes,
Uh, which yeah, no, yeah. Thanks for bringing that up, Dylan. I appreciate it.
thank you.
Yeah, so I think Dylan makes a good point there. About enjoying if you can incorporate work into what your passions are, what you love to do. Colton, are you there?
Oh, hello.
Hey, Colton, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Your hand was raised, so I'm calling on you. What do you think some of the benefits are of play?
Well, in all honesty, the world's a pretty scary place. There's a lot of scary things going on, so play it just sort of serves as an escape from that for you to just go, okay, that's going on, but I can turn my attention to this world where not all these bad things are happening. And it does also play into the stress relief and all of that.
Yeah, no, you're totally right. I mean, I think there's something to be said about that. Sometimes, right, the world gets to be kind of a crazy place, and it's like, oh wow, there's really a lot of stuff happening, and even though, yeah, so definitely escapism. I think that as long as we don't, make escapism our main thing in life, yeah, there's something to be said about that. Sometimes we need a little bit of a break from the real world. So yeah, definitely. Yeah, so again, I think there's definitely a lot of benefits. Kind of just resetting and recharging, giving ourselves just a little bit of giving ourselves some leeway, some time to step back from the things that are working us every day. If it's stress, if it's school, if it's relationships, whatever it is, right? Being able to play and have some fun outside of that, it can go a long way. So how about this? Play as a connection. Does anyone feel like when they play, maybe they have a different way to connect with their friends, their family, their colleagues, whoever it is they're playing with? Okay, sure, yeah. I'm sure that someone has a similar experience with this, but I know Lydia. Are you there, Lydia?
Yeah.
Hey, are you there?
Yep.
What do you think? How do you think play connects us?
Well, from personal experience, I find there are very few things more fun than getting my friends hooked into something that I enjoy and then watching them binge it afterwards.
Yeah. What have you done that? How did you do that to your friends, or what did you get them hooked on?
Well, I just got usually it's just some TV show or something dumb I found on the internet, but it's really fun because at that point you usually end up picking up inside jokes and just the general fun of seeing their evaluation of this thing you enjoy.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's definitely fun, right? You have kind of another layer of relation with one of your friends. You can say, oh, we've got our regular stuff that we talk about. Then, right, we have this extra layer of it where we're connected on a deeper level. Yeah, awesome. Thanks for sharing that. All right. How else? How else do you think play connects us? Jelson?
Yeah.
How do you think play connects us?
Well, I think it can help us. I think it can help people get closer. Like I had a cousin. We used to hang out a lot, but as we got older, we kind of spread apart. But recently, I got her I think it was like a year ago. I got her hooked on a TV show. It was called Attack on Titan, and we got really hooked into it. And actually, then she discovered our stuff that she actually introduced me to. And we sometimes like go to my house and we just put on the on Netflix the TV show, and we actually connected and we made up theories or analyzed it a lot. And we actually grew up and we actually became very close after years of being apart.
Oh, that's awesome. I'm really glad to hear that. Alrighty, so yeah, definitely we can agree that play connects us. So play fosters creativity, flexibility, and learning. People would tend to agree with that, I imagine. Can anyone think of things maybe like where a play activity or a game, something that you got into that really you think kind of built your creativity, flexibility, and learning skills? Making music, definitely a big one. Video games, chorus, art, music, rapping, anime, drawing, storytelling. It just got fast. It just got it just got fast. Okay, so I would tend to agree. It looks like everyone everyone has definitely had that experience before. Maybe there's something that you learned from a play activity, something that started out, as oh, I'm just doing something, but then you learned a lot about it. I think that having background is always a really it's compelling to me, at least. If I hear a story and it's about a historical event, or if I'm playing a game or watching a movie and it's about a historical thing, I tend to want to go learn about that thing afterwards and say, oh, I read or saw something about a historical event or a place and time, and then I want to go learn about it. So I think that as a vehicle for education, there's a lot to be said about play. Maya says drawing, got really into painting and expressing yourself through art. That's awesome. Helped keep you sane. You say, yeah, I would tend to agree with that. I think that, myself included in that. I think that being able to express your feelings in a way that you can just take them kind of from you and put them out into the world. There's absolutely something to be said. It's a bit of an unburdening process when you can kind of just put yourself out there and not hold it in. Absolutely. Play reduces stress. I don't think I'm going to get too much argument in that. Maybe some people take their play too seriously. Maybe it stresses them out a little bit. I've seen some. Except Uno. Okay, yeah. Not if you play League of Legends. Okay, competitive gaming. Yeah, I think competitive gaming. I remember I've definitely seen some controllers, thrown across the room and so on and so forth. I'm not. I've had my moments when I was frustrated with a video game, definitely, but I don't think I've broken any of my controllers yet, or the rage quits. Yeah. Okay, so on the whole, though, a lot of times stress relief is a byproduct of play. Yeah, soccer is a good example. All right. How about this one? Play teaches us perseverance. Has anyone kind of had that experience? Maybe there's something that it was a learning process, something that you really had to stick to it before you were able to get very far. Yeah. Okay. So it looks like achievement hunting. Definitely. I think everyone, Zelda I saw in there, harder levels, Dark Souls. I haven't played Dark Souls, Siege. Okay. Yeah. So it sounds like everyone has had some type of experience like that where they've really you had to stick to it with something, you had to persevere. I think that everyone has had that experience. I have had that experience, in a lot of things in what I do for fun. In my work with plants, I've failed a lot at plant stuff before I got to be halfway decent at it. So I can definitely relate to knowing that perseverance is really important there's plants I've gotten that, you grow from a seed and it takes years and years and years before you get it to fruit. And yeah, there's a lot of perseverance. There's a lot of waiting. There's a lot of learning patience in there. So definitely one of those things. Play makes us happy. Again, for the most part, occasionally we might get a little bit frustrated with maybe some parts of play, but right, we tend to be, it increases our happiness. Our mood tends to get better when we play. Usually, it's there's hopefully some levity in our play, and we can enjoy ourselves. I think that this is one of the really important things, is that a little play goes a long way. Even if we were working a long day and we just take 20 minutes, we go play a quick game, do something fun. Taking that little bit of a break, just enough to kind of reset and say, okay, I'm back to it. I can get back into my whatever it is I need to do quickly again. You get the creative juices flowing. I know that if I'm working on something really complicated, I can I can take a step back. I can do something else for a little while. I can come back to it, and I feel refreshed. Usually. Unless you're procrastinating. Yeah, that's true. But right, a lot of times, especially if I hit a creative block or something like that, being able to take a step back and reevaluate, readjust, say, okay, what do I actually need to do? It gives me a little bit of a step up when I'm coming back overcoming a creative block. So one of the things that we really try to accomplish in this course is to reconnect with play. I think everyone will see that with the play demonstrations that we do. There's a lot of stuff because right, again, we think that there is some value in getting back into play, getting involved in it, especially if you're going to be working in a creative field. You're going to be asked to pour out a lot creatively in your time here at Full Sail, and then again in your careers. If you're in a creative field, you're going to be, you're going to constantly be, giving it your all, and right, you're going to hit times when you're like, oh man, I'm really, I'm at a loss creatively. I don't know where to go from here. I don't know what's next. What's the thing I should be doing? And again, if you have play and the other tools that we work on during this class, you'll hopefully be a lot better equipped to go out and be successful, not just in school, but in your industries. I guess it's strange how you think about play, and I guess it really depends on how you think about play to begin with. But I think that a lot of the older models where we said, "Oh, plays for kids," be an adult, go do work. We found that we just don't get the same results. We can be real serious all the time, and I'm not saying don't be serious, but there's something to be said about kind of letting your hair down every now and then and playing and having a little bit of fun. Keeping that as a regular part of your life, which again is why we include those in our weekly plans. It's why there's a play category. So keep that in mind. So if you were to draw a cup of coffee on a saucer, I'll show you the picture. You might not be good at it at first. And the thing that we would encourage you to do, and this is kind of when we're thinking about play, is we might need to come back to it. We might need to try it again. We might if play is something that, especially if we've hung it up for a long time, coming back to play might be a whole new experience for someone. I know, especially with my students who spent time maybe in the military. You spent 4 or 8 or however many years you know, being real serious all the time, and you probably didn't get a lot of time to play. So, you know, or whatever your situation was before you came to Full Sail, there's a lot of times, you know, we didn't have those opportunities. So, you know, taking the time and practicing and sticking with something, and you know, giving play a fair shot. You know, keep working at it. If it's something that we're not comfortable with, or that we haven't done historically, you know, taking the time to put back into that might be worth your while. So as you'll go through the readings, you'll come across play history. I would really encourage you to look at those things. You know, when we look at play as children, and we look at how that affects us now, you know, what we were doing as young people and what we do now, they're related. They're tied together. I feel very very seldom do I have anyone who said, you know, oh, the way that I played as a child, you know, has completely unrelated to how I play now. So I'd encourage everyone, you know, take the time, go through the play history, and really think about that. You know, I think there's definitely a lot of really interesting information there. So there's another one. Surrounding yourself with playful people. You know, if we're in a and I don't mean this in terms of, you know, just sit in the back of the class and fool around all day, but I do mean it in terms of, you know, find people who are willing to go along, and, you know, who are willing to take a break every now and then and say, okay, let's have a little bit of fun. Let's do something enjoyable. Let's, you know, be serious about what we're doing, but also be serious about making sure that we're taking care of ourselves, which includes taking a step back from the table every now and then and saying, all right, you know, let's stretch our legs. Let's have fun. Let's play, you know, a quick game of something. There's definitely something to be said about that. Pets and little ones, you know, small children and animals seem to always want to play. It really seems ingrained in them. You know, if you have those opportunities, if you have, you know, I have small children, you know, or if you have, you know, you have a dog or cat or an animal, you know, yeah, right. Take the opportunity to go out and play with them. They're almost always going to be interested in it. I can't think of too many times when my children are not interested in playing with me. They're almost always trying to. They're constantly getting into things, which is play for them. So it sometimes is more work for me, but again, you know, they're usually off to go out and do something interesting. So what are some of the takeaways you can think of? What are some of the takeaways from this today? And again, you can type or you can raise your hand, either way. Play personalities? Yes, we definitely learned about play personalities. Play all day. I don't know if all day is the right word, but incorporate it throughout your day. Oh, it went fast now. The benefits of play. Yep, play is important in the creative process. Play isn't bad. Yes, correct. Reduces stress. Yep, we form connections through play. Play helps you relax. Creativity. It's a positive thing. It's necessary. Helps keep you stress free. We can come up with new ideas. It can help us. Yeah. So definitely, yeah. All right, good. I'm glad we were paying attention. That's always nice to hear. Brandon, are you there? Oh, it looks like you might not have a microphone, Brandon. Oh, wait. Oh, it's going in and out. Are you there, Brandon?
Come on. Can you hear me?
I can.
Can you hear me?
Yes. Go ahead.
Okay, I'm sorry. I don't know. So, well, the best takeaway for today, in retrospect, is that play is a valuable resource where you can express yourself creatively, and you can offer yourself opportunities to grow and to learn, and learn perseverance to an extent. You can basically, it's for the most part, play is something that's a necessity for sorry. Play is a necessity to be able to engage socially, so that way you can interact with others who enjoy play the same way you do.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, thanks, Brandon. Thanks for sharing. I appreciate it.
Not a problem.
All right, definitely. Eddie, are you there, Eddie?
Yes.
Go
Can you
ahead.
hear me?
Yeah. Let's hear. What's your takeaway?
Yeah, definitely the biggest takeaway for today is just that, like, as adults, we don't play as much as we should. Like, we think that that's just a childish thing.
Mhm.
And, like, really, like, when you relax and when you play and when you do something that you love, you really get a lot of good ideas for, anything that you really love to do and then work, and you just have to live a happier life. Nowadays we're just so stressed out and with these quick paced schedules that we don't take time to enjoy life and enjoy the fact that we're alive and do stuff that we love to do. That's just how
Yeah,
it is.
absolutely.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you for sharing. All right. So that more or less is the lecture for today. I did want to leave a little bit of time at the end for questions. If you have questions about the lecture, or if you have any other questions, I would appreciate, if you want to raise hands. That's probably the easiest way, only because it tends to take a little while otherwise. Just because it's going back and forth, up and down in the chat. Let's see. Lewis, are you there? Hello. It looks like you might not have a microphone. If you get one, come back. Re-raise your hand. I'll be happy to call on you again. Anyone else with a question? Questions, please raise your hand. All right. Denzel, do you have a question?
Yes.
All right, go ahead.
Sorry. I was asking, is it possible for one to have more than one personality?
Oh yeah, absolutely. You'll probably tend to identify with multiple play personalities. I mean, I do. I relate to a handful of play personalities.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah. Alrighty. Brandon, do you have a question?
I do have a question.
Go
I've
ahead.
noticed a couple people asked it in the chat.
Sure.
But some people in the chat and myself were wondering about the team activity for tomorrow. Could you give us some insight on that so we know what to prepare for?
There will be a team activity, and you'll have time to work on it in class. I know my class is doing our team activities, I believe, on Friday, and we will have some time during class to do them. So that is as much as I can tell you about it. The teams are assigned, and you'll have time in class. So does that shed some light onto that for you?
That sheds a lot of light.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people in the chat were wanting that answer.
Yes.
Because I noticed that quite a few people were asking throughout the duration of the course, and I was noticing that question was not going addressed, so I figured I'd bring it up.
Yeah, no, thank you. I apologize. I didn't see it in the chat, so thank you for mentioning it. Yeah, our team activities, I think, are pretty fun. They fall into our I believe they fall into under our like integrative hours. But yeah, we do have team activities. I think they're a pretty good time though. All right. Anyone else? I'm just checking for hands. I'm sorry. I'm scrolling up and down. Lydia, do you have a question?
Yep. I was wondering about the assignment where we post pictures of the play thing.
Yes.
Are we supposed to post one for every day of the week or just one?
For the play demonstration activity?
Yeah.
No, just
Yeah. Okay.
one picture and then one description.
Okay. That's
So
it.
I would encourage everyone probably to, write. I would say about a paragraph for that. Sometimes we're more brief than we need to be, but I would encourage everyone to write roughly a paragraph for that. I think that will usually satisfy what everyone's looking for from as far as instructors go. I know that's what I look for. I want about a paragraph from people. If they're not writing, just you can describe it, talk about how it is, talk about what, if anything, that experience was like for you. So yeah, that is what I would recommend.
I'm assuming that's the usual 3 to 5 sentences is a paragraph thing.
Oh, yeah, I would say that if you write in the range of 3 to 5 sentences, then yeah, you're good.
All right.
All right, wonderful. Thank you for asking. All right, still going through, checking for hands. Oh, Denzel, looks like your hand is up again. Yes.
Sorry, I have one more question.
Don't apologize. Go ahead.
About the discussion based assignment that's when does that actually due? I keep forgetting.
Are you looking at the due date on the activity?
I kept hearing 2 due dates. I wanted to know which one was actually the due date.
There are 2 due dates. That is probably why you've been hearing 2. If you pull up the assignment, so it says activity 1.5 discussion play, initial post due Thursday, which means that you need to answer the questions that are posed to you by Thursday, and then you need to respond to your peers using the RISE model for giving feedback by Sunday.
Oh, okay.
Does that make sense? Yeah, sorry. I realize that there are 2 due dates, which is exactly why you've been hearing that. So yeah, you want to make sure you get your initial post up there by Thursday night, and then again, respond to your peers using the RISE model for giving feedback before Sunday night.
Okay, thank you.
Not a problem. All righty. Anna, do you have a question?
Yes.
Please go ahead.
So all of us here who were participating in the live chat the whole time, we can just click task completed on FSO, right?
Yes, that is correct.
Okay. We don't have to I don't know, sign a log or something that we were there. It's just chat that we were here.
Just click that you completed it, and that's it.
All right, awesome.
Wonderful. Thank you for asking.
Thanks so much.
Yep, no problem. All right, still scrolling through. Gabriella, do you have a question as well?
Yes. I'm just a little confused because I missed my first class, and
Okay.
I believe my instructor is different from you.
Yes.
Am I? Oh, okay. I'm attending 2 different classes, a virtual and a campus class. I'm sorry, I'm confused. So.
You're okay. So all of the there's several sections of the campus class.
Mm-hmm.
And there's several of us teaching it. So what we do is each week one of the instructors from the campus class will do the go-to training. Okay. So instead of my class coming to visit me, each week, my class will go to a go-to training with everyone. So it's a pooled group. So all the students who are on campus who are going to a go-to training will all go together And usually there's going to be 2 instructors. One of us will be lecturing and the other one will usually be in the chat box. So today Mr. Nguyen was in the chat box and I was lecturing. So but yeah, everyone is in the right place.
Okay.
That way you get to hear, my class is by the end of the month going to be tired of hearing my voice. So it gives them a little bit of a break from me. It gives them, somebody else's teaching style. So it's just a way to kind of keep it fresh for everyone. And maybe, you respond really well to one instructor versus another. It's just a way to kind of give everyone a slightly different perspective and experience.
So the assignments that you have in your class aren't going to be the same as the ones in my instructor on campus then? We
all have the exact same assignments. And they're the same due dates, same deadlines. I am giving, broad general answers to questions that will satisfy my grading rubric. And again, we all have the same rubric, so we're all roughly grading off of the same thing. So if you have a question, I can probably answer it. If it's a really specific, I would say you could ask your instructor, but you could ask me. I'm happy to answer, or at least try.
So the assignment that's due right now is the one that you guys were just talking about. It's the one where I have to post a picture and just write a 3 to 5 sentence explanation to it.
Well, there's several things that are going to be due this week. So the thing that we were discussing is the play demonstration, which is activity 1.6 play demonstration, which is actually for attendance. It counts as attendance credit, which you would want. But yeah, so you would
give us a second.
Post a picture and describe it as well.
Oh, okay.
Does that make sense?
I'm looking at it right now. It's the 1.3, right?
Oh, 1.3 is a reading.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, there's several assignments for week 1. The assignments that need to get turned in, there's 1.0 Essentials E3 pre-assessment, which everyone should do. And there's a community board, which is just a board where everyone can kind of go back and forth, chat, talk to each other, get to know one another, but it's not mandatory. After that, there's the virtual lecture, which is here, what we're doing right now. You'll want to go into that, click on it, and click that you completed it, so that way you can tell your instructor that you were here in today's lecture. Activity 1.3 and 1.4 are both readings. You will want to do the readings because that is where the questions for the weekly quiz are going to be. After that, we have activity 1.5, which is our weekly discussion, which is, again, the initial post for that is due Thursday night. And then you're going to want to follow up, respond to 3 of your peers before Sunday night.
Okay. I get it. All right. Perfect. Thank you so much.
Yeah, no problem. No problem. Anyone else? Let's just see. I have a few more. Logan? I see that you have raised your hand, but it looks like your microphone might not be working. Oh,
I mean,
there we go.
Yeah, hey.
Hey, what's going on, Logan?
Nothing much. I kind of jumped in the middle of this, so I totally had a question, man, and I kind of forgot that I had my hand up. So
no worries.
I think you answered already.
Okay, cool.
But yeah, thanks.
Yep, anytime. Alrighty. Any more questions? I don't see any hands up. What? I have one more. Colton, do you have a question?
Yeah, I had one question. It's
Sure.
not really get much beyond anything besides. I was wondering what your favorite fruit tree was.
My favorite fruit tree? Oh gosh, it's probably jaboticaba. I like that fruit a lot, and it's a really pretty tree. So that was probably the easiest answer.
Cool.
Yeah. All right. Any other questions? Oh, did I see pineapple on pizza? I don't know if that was a question or not. Yes, I do like Hawaiian pizza, and I eat it with a fork and a knife. So deal with that. Oh, everything exploded. Oh no, the chat went crazy. Yep. I'll take all the heat. I think I just got a personal message. Someone messaged me something. Ryan, you had your hand up. Do you have a question? Oh, there's so many people talking in the chat right now. Ryan, your hand is up, but it looks like your microphone is not working. Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
Yes, I can hear you. What's up?
All right, for 1.5, I don't understand question number 1.
Okay.
How do I like get that graph thing or that chart?
I believe it's in the download section.
Downloads?
Yeah, I believe that if you scroll down, you should be able to get it, or you can. I think you might be able to copy and paste it. Oh, or you can go to the activity how to format a discussion post.
Is it okay if I do it on the Word? Is that fine too?
I'm sorry, one more time?
If I do it on the Word, is that fine?
Yeah, you could do it in Word if you wanted.
All right, cool. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
I was about to tell you that.
All right. Any other questions in here? I don't see anything. Not hands raised. I did have a question. Someone asked it to me privately, but I'll answer it publicly just because it's easy. They were asking about this, like, why is this class why is it here and why is it emphasized as much as it is, but it's not. They haven't seen it elsewhere. And like the shortest and most honest answer is that in order for school to issue bachelor's degrees, you have to have a psychology credit. So we've kind of thought about, okay, like we could offer psychology 101 and like what would students get out of that? And how would that contribute to, to like their creative careers, their work in the industry? So this class was specifically made for our student body. That's kind of like the best answer I can give you. We've also tried to make it fun and enjoyable. But yeah, I mean, it's a really unique class. It's unique to Full Sail. Most other places, right? It's not, they will just offer psychology 101 or abnormal psych or something like that. My school that I went to, no, I'm happy to answer the question. My schools didn't have a class like this. I took psychology 101 in more normal classes. So, all right. Well, I think that's the end of our time for today. If you come up with other questions, I will be happy to hear you out. I see one more hand up. Angel, did you have your hand up?
Oh, yeah, I did.
Yeah, go ahead. I'll answer your question.
Well, the thing was, let me see how do I explain this. What do you do when play stops, like something you do as play stops being fun and it feels like it's something more demanding than play?
I take a step back from it. I've had that before with artwork that I was doing. If I'm working on a project and it stops being fun, I take a step back from it and I say, you know what, this is stressing me out. This is more demanding. I don't really like it. And I take a step back and I go find a different activity that I really find enjoyable. Which is why for me now, I used to take art commissions, and I realized that like I first of all, I just didn't like working on what other people wanted me to work on. I just wanted to work on my own projects. and I didn't like the timeline of it. So I just said, hey, you know, I'm not going to take any more commissions. I'll make the artwork I want to make. If people want it, they want to buy it and pay for it, great. And if they don't, I didn't make it for them in the first place. So that's just me. But I would change directions, try and work on something else, find something else that's fun for the time being. Does that help?
Yeah, that is actually very helpful.
Awesome. Cool. All right. Well, hey, I have to run. I have a meeting, so I'm going to go. But if you have more questions, feel free to email me, email your instructor, whatever you need. But thanks so much, everyone, for being here. It's been great being with all of you. Thank you for your time today. Yeah, it's been amazing. So I look forward to seeing you all, everyone in my section in the future. Well, tomorrow. And everyone else, have a great one.